What is up, bros and broettes? I am Inkslasher, and welcome to another episode of Versus, the series where we put two weapons head-to-head to see which one is better and make you a better Call of Duty player. Today, we are looking at one of the brand new weapons in Infinite Warfare, the VPR, versus an old favorite of mine, the Karma-45. Now, why are we comparing these two weapons? Well, first of all, both of them are SMGs. On top of that, both of these weapons have two magazines, so when you reload either of these weapons, you have to replace two magazines on either weapon. This is, I believe, the only Call of Duty game ever to have weapons that reload with two magazines and not one. I could be wrong about that. I'm about 90% sure, but you can correct me down in the comments if I'm wrong. So the VPR is a very weird weapon. It's a weapon that doesn't really work like any other weapon you've probably ever seen before in any Call of Duty game. And you're going to see why throughout this video with the various stats, and hopefully it will explain why this weapon handles so damn weird. So as always, let's start off with damage profile, and this first part is probably going to be the most confusing part out of the entire video, because the damage profile for the VPR is really messed up. And what I mean by that is, normally, per bullet, you are looking at 15 damage up close, 12 damage at mid-range, and 10 at long range. You may be thinking to yourself, wow, that sounds really low, and you're right. The thing is, with the VPR, two bullets are coming out of the weapon at the exact same time. So assuming you hit both of the bullets, the damage profile really should be 30 damage up close, 24 at mid-range, and 20 at long range. The weird thing about this is, yes, both bullets come out of the weapon at the exact same time. However, this doesn't mean both weapons are actually going to hit the target, because there's actually a small gap between the two bullets. And what I mean by that is there's a short distance between the two where one of the bullets might miss off to the left or the other might miss off to the right. And because of that, you're not necessarily going to deal that 30 damage up close. It may be 15 if you're missing one of the two bullets. So because of that, it makes it incredibly inconsistent. Whereas when we look at the Karma-45, you're dealing 30 damage up close, 23 at mid-range, and 19 at long range. So technically it is a little bit lower of a damage profile, considering the VPR, assuming both bullets are hitting, is going to be a 4 to a 5 bullet kill, whereas the Karma is going to be a 4 to a 6 bullet kill. That being said, you have to hit every single bullet out of that VPR. And because of that, I'm not actually going to give out any points based on the damage profile, simply because there's a caveat where both bullets have to hit for that VPR, and I find that most of the time that doesn't actually happen. So the simplest way to put that is, in theory, the VPR has a better damage profile. In practice, the Karma-45 has a better damage profile. So it kind of depends on the amount of bullets on hitting, so therefore no points for that. However, something we can give out points for is the fire rate. So the fire rate for the VPR is 833 RPM, where the Karma-45 has a fire rate of 769. Obviously, that's a little bit faster for the VPR, and for that, it's going to get +1 point and take the lead. However, the place where the VPR really falls short is in its range. So the VPR is only a 4 bullet kill up until 8 meters, whereas the Karma-45 has that 4 bullet kill up until 15 meters, so almost double the 4 bullet kill range of the VPR, and that's a really big positive for the Karma. So for that, the Karma is going to get +1 point and tie things up. So the weirdest stat for both of these weapons is by far the magazines. So the way the VPR's magazine works is the VPR has a 40 round magazine, but it has 2 of them. So when it says 40 down in the bottom right hand corner, really you have a total of 80 bullets, because when you pull that trigger, 2 bullets are coming out. The Karma has 2 magazines, but it doesn't work like that. The Karma has 42 bullets total in magazines. However, each magazine has 21 bullets. So where the Karma actually shows your total amount of bullets, the VPR doesn't. The VPR shows half the bullets it really should be showing. It's a really confusing concept. I don't know why they did them differently, but it's important to note that basically for the VPR you have 40, and basically for the Karma you have 42. So for that, they're so close together, only 2 extra bullets for the Karma. We're not going to give out any points based on that. So one of the bigger areas where the VPR actually has problems is in the reload speed. Now, the reload speed for the VPR is 1.95 seconds, which doesn't sound terrible, but you got to remember, this is an SMG. Most of the other SMGs have a very quick reload speed. In fact, the VPR has the slowest reload speed out of any of the SMGs. So obviously for that, the Karma is going to have a faster reload speed and therefore get +1 point and take the lead. So a lot of the other stats are very similar to the other SMGs. So the movement speed is 98%, the aim down sight speed is 230 milliseconds, the sprint out time is 150 milliseconds, which is pretty much the exact same as all the other SMGs in the game. So very similar there. However, one area where the VPR has huge problems is the view kick, the recoil, whatever you want to call it, is brutal. Absolutely brutal for the VPR, and there's actually a reason why that is. So the reason why that is, for a normal weapon, for example the Karma-45, every time you fire the weapon and a bullet comes out, the weapon gets a certain amount of recoil. However, with the VPR, every time you pull that trigger, 2 bullets are coming out, and since 2 bullets are coming out, you get the amount of recoil that you'd get for 2 bullets in the same period of time you would get it for 1 bullet on another weapon. So in a sense, you're getting double the recoil every time a bullet comes out of that weapon. Not to mention the recoil pattern for the VPR jumps side to side instead of up and down like most other weapons do. So it's a very hard weapon to actually control. And for that, the Karma-45 is going to get +1 point because it has way less recoil and extend its lead. And really, after that, there is no points I can give out for these two weapons. And what I'll say is the numbers don't do this justice. I really strongly believe that the Karma is a much better weapon than the VPR. Reason being, the VPR is incredibly inconsistent. Sometimes when you're up close to someone, if both bullets hit, you're going to deal 30 damage, and other times if one misses, you're dealing 15 damage, which is an insane difference. Not to mention, it has incredibly inconsistent recoil that's really hard to control, even with a foregrip. So what I'm trying to get across is the VPR is really not a good weapon. In fact, I think I would go as far as saying it may be the worst SMG in the game. In fact, yeah, I think it is the worst SMG in the game. I really wouldn't be surprised to see this weapon get a recoil reduction in the near future in some sort of weapons patch. But by far the winner this week has got to go out to the Karma-45. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Feel free to let me know. On top of that, if you enjoy the Versus series and want to see more videos like this one, the way to show me is by hitting that like button. And also, if you like what you see, you can always hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all my new videos. But guys, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. We got a lot of great stuff coming later this week, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace out.